Hello, seniors. This is the review for the first logic quiz. Again, you guys are doing wonderful. I'm very proud, and I hope that this is beneficial. So, anyway, you should know what the term abstract means, that it's not something that's convoluted or hard to understand. So, what happens in a philosophical sense when we abstract? And also, remember that grid where you had in your book that it said if the premises are true and if the logic is valid, then the conclusion must be also true. I told you that that was the only true answer in that whole grid. Okay, just make sure you're keenly aware of that. As far as comprehension and extension, if I were to say the term all birds has more comprehension than birds fly, what would you say? And also about concept, term, and word. Which one of those is in the public domain but immaterial? Which one is immaterial but not in the public domain? Just be able to recognize that in a matching true or false. You should also know what the basic tenets of nominalism is. And I gave you in the very beginning of the course just some very basic and broad advantages, if I want to say, to orderly thinking and how it structures thought. What did I say about using logic in a democratic society? That should be a giveaway. All right, let's see. You're going to have in your multiple choice, you'll have to determine whether or not it's a term, proposition, and or nothing, or an argument. Okay? So these are right out of your book. Just make sure that the ones in your book you take a look at and the few that I did on the screen. Okay? I'm not going to go through these. But use some that like I've used, like it ain't broke, so don't fix it, and use some that came out of the book. You won't pass. Okay, make sure you got that. There's probably like 5 of those. Okay. All right. You should be able to identify the acts of the mind if they're in a list. Okay, you should be able to pick those out. And if I show you in a multiple choice, picking more than one, it's multiple response, I guess. You should be able to say which ones are terms and which ones are not, which ones are propositions, which ones are not. And if I give you a list of concept, term, word, sentence, whatever, and I ask you which one of those are immaterial, you should be able to come up with that. Okay. Now, as far as the matching, I said that a term can be either this or that, a proposition could be either this or that, and an argument can be either this or that. So we're really talking about whether something is true, clear, valid. Okay, just make sure you're able to match those up. And the 3 types of universals, how sometimes we believe they exist on our own, sometimes we believe they don't exist, and other times we believe they exist, but they only show up in particular circumstances. Okay. I didn't want you to flat out remember metaphysical realism and I guess it was epistemological realism, but just know what the connection between those things are in reality. It's just that it's good that you know that. All right, let's see. That's pretty much it. This should be pretty straightforward. There's nothing on here that should be a surprise. You just have to think about it a little bit. Just my advice, make sure you're comfortable knowing the difference between a concept, a word, and a term. Make sure that you do understand only the examples that I gave you about comprehension and extension. And then you also should be able to pick out what is or is not an argument, a proposition, and a term. And only from the examples in the book or the ones that I put online. All right? Good job, guys. Good luck. See you tomorrow or today, whenever you're viewing this. Ciao.